Welcome to a field trip to Earth. I have some fun things to share with you. A magic lamp, the spinning swing ride, Anubis. John had said that he wanted to smell sawdust on the floor, wanted to taste the atmosphere of the circus. I said to him, what we need is a calliope. Step right up and feast your eyes on the magnificent swing carousel, also known as the Charoplane. This amusement ride has been delighting people for over a century, creating fun and enjoyment with its mesmerizing motion. The swing carousel was designed way back in 1904. At that time, people were fascinated by the idea of flying, as the Wright brothers had made their famous first flight just a few months earlier. But the swing carousel isn't just about the thrill of the ride, it's also a feast for the senses. The center pillar is covered in mirrors that reflect the riders, adding to the fun and disorientation. Lights and music fill the air, creating a festive atmosphere that's hard to resist. Speaking of music, carousels are famous for their catchy tunes called calliope music. It's made by sending compressed air through large whistles, creating a sound that's both cheerful and nostalgic. Even the Beatles were inspired by this music when they recorded their song, Being for the Benefit of Mr. Kite. The swing carousel has a long and fascinating history. It can trace its roots back to Victorian fairs, where mechanical carousels were becoming very popular. In fact, the merry-go-rounds we know and love today were inspired by ancient jousting tournaments. But the swing carousel isn't just a relic of the past, it's still a beloved attraction at fairs and amusement parks around the world. In the United States alone, fairs draw as many as 150 million people each summer, and for many, the adrenaline rush of riding the swing carousel is the highlight of their visit. So what makes the swing carousel so special? It's all about the motion. When you ride the swing carousel, you experience two sensations of movement at once. First, you rise up like you're on a swing, feeling the wind in your hair. Second, you move in a circular motion, spinning around and round as the ride gains speed. This combination of movements is what makes swing carousel so thrilling and unique. It's like flying, defying gravity, and experiencing the freedom of motion. It's no wonder that this ride has remained a favorite for generations of fairgoers, young and old alike. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. Long ago, before we had electric lights, people used oil lamps to light their homes and streets. These lamps have been around for thousands of years and are still used today in some places. They work just like candles, but instead of wax, they use liquid oil as fuel. The oil is poured into a special container called the fuel chamber. A wick, which is like a string, dips down into the oil and comes out through a small hole. When the end of the wick is lit, it burns the oil that is soaked up by the wick, creating light. The lamps were often made from a metal called brass, which is a mixture of copper and zinc. Brass can have different colors, from pale yellow to deep golden brown. To make these lamps, metal workers would shape the brass into different parts of the lamp. Pick the handle, the fuel chamber, and the nozzle where the wick came out. They would decorate the lamp with tiny beads or twisted threads of gold and silver, arranged in beautiful patterns. This type of decoration is called filigree. Lamps are also important for religious reasons. They were used in special rituals and were seen as a symbol of goodness, wisdom, and love. Early Islamic people made lamps decorated with birds, trees, flowers, and other natural designs. In some stories, like the tale of Aladdin, these beautiful lamps became magic lamps that held genies instead of oil. Aladdin's genie granted him wishes, and in the original story he had as many wishes as he wanted, but in the Disney movie the genie only gave him 3 wishes. Many people today still make wishes, like when they blow out candles on a birthday cake, or see a shooting star. So the next time you turn on a light, think about the oil lamps people used to use long ago, and the magical stories of genies living inside them, granting wishes to lucky lamp holders like Aladdin. There is neither water nor air here. Its depth is unfathomable. It is as dark as the darkest night, and men wander about here helplessly. Anubis was known as the lord of the sacred land and master of secrets. He was the god of funerary rites, protector of graves, and the guide to the underworld. The ancient Egyptians believed that individuals can interact with the gods through prayer or magic, appealing for help or compelling them to act. Anubis is usually depicted as a canine or man with a canine head. He is carrying a sickle sword or khopesh. These curved swords were symbols of authority and death, used for slashing and disarming opponents. The khopesh had a convex blade with a single edge and a groove called the fuller, which strengthened and lightened the blade. The khopesh's shape maximizes its cutting edge, allowing it to strike like an axe. Anubis is wearing clothing made from linen, the most common textile in ancient Egypt, made from flax fibers. The shent was adapted from early hunting skirts that allowed freedom of movement. Anubis wears a broad collar called a usk, decorated with carnelian, turquoise, and lapis lazuli. sourced from the Sinai Peninsula in Mesopotamia. Anubis has been protector of graves for over 5,000 years, since the first dynasty. He was depicted in black, symbolizing regeneration, life, and the fertile soil of the Nile River Delta. Jackals were associated with cemeteries because they were scavengers, so a jackal was chosen to protect the dead. The Egyptian concept of the universe centered on Mat, which represents truth, balance, order, harmony, law, morality, and justice. In early times, the deceased pharaoh was believed to ascend to the sky and dwell among the stars. However, during the Old Kingdom, also known as the Age of Pyramids, the pharaoh became more closely associated with the daily rebirth of the sun god Ra. In the Old Kingdom, Anubis was the most important god of the dead and was associated with mummification. In the Osiris myth, Anubis helped Isis embalm Osiris after his brother Set had killed and dismembered him. Anubis stopped Set's attempt to attack Osiris's body by branding Set's leopard form with a hot iron rod, which explained how the leopards got their spots. As the guardian of the scales, Anubis guided individuals across the threshold from the world of the living to the afterlife. During the weighing of the heart, described in the Egyptian Book of the Dead, he uses a weighing scale. Souls heavier than a feather would be devoured by Ammit, while those lighter than a feather would ascend to a heavenly existence. Now let's play with these toys together and come up with a fun story. Ritual is play, and play is ritual. In any ritual, you designate the space the rite is to be performed in. You gather the tools and instruments you need, and you gather the co-practitioners. Then, for the duration of that ritual, the ritual becomes your world. Everywhere, everywhen, the place we play. We need you out there, the lines are getting really long. Sorry guys, I'm feeling bored and unmotivated.
Maybe you're burnt out.
Maybe some of these upcoming cases will cheer you up.
I doubt it.
I think you're going to need to find some entertainment, something to excite you, outside of work.
Okay, let's see how you measure up.
Wow, that's not good.
Yikes.
Looks like this guy was a real handful. Off you go to Ammit, where your soul will be devoured for eternity.
Yum, yum.
No, please spare me.
Chomp, chomp.
That did not cheer me up.
Next.
It's perfectly balanced.
I say we let her pass.
It wouldn't be fair to the others.
How about I sweeten the pot? I heard you're depressed. If you restore me to life, I'll tell you the location of a magic lamp.
Whoa, that's quite an offer.
Yep, 3 wishes should be able to cheer anyone up. Be ashamed to miss out. This is a gray area. She's technically past the time where good deeds count. And she's asking to be restored to life. I've only done that a few times. But I'm feeling, what did you call it? Burnt out? It's a deal. Master, I will grant you 3 wishes in exchange for my freedom. Yes, I know. I wish to be entertained. Say no more. Here is a magnificent jazz band playing for your private pleasure. This music is jazz, you say? It sounds very unorthodox and doesn't really play by any rules.
Isn't it groovy? I love it. It's so unrestrained and magical.
It's a little too wild and free for me.
I got you. You want something more sedate and predictable.
Yes, that sounds right.
Check out that view.
I don't like these heights. I'm a creature of the underworld. I feel like Ra up here. Before you went into a panic, can I ask if you enjoyed some of the sensation? That's a very popular ride. I guess it was okay. Before I looked down. Say no more. Oh my god, this is fantastic. I never want to get off this. Wait until my friends at work try it. Enjoy your freedom, Genie. Honey, I'm back. I didn't expect you back. This is my new wife, Hippolyta. She's the queen of the Amazons. This is awkward.
I'm sure it's fun, but I'm not waiting any longer. It's taking an eternity.
Trust me, it's really nice.